Snow exploded under Lyra Thorn's boots as she lunged forward, spear raised, chasing the wounded deer through the white chaos of the blizzard. "Stop running," she muttered through gritted teeth, her breath fogging in the freezing air. "You're already dead." The deer staggered, blood dripping into the snow, but it still pushed forward. Hunger made animals desperate. Hunger made everyone desperate. Lyra hurled the spear. The weapon cut through the storm and struck deep into the deer's flank. The animal collapsed with a harsh cry before going still. Lyra exhaled slowly, wiping snow from her eyes. Finally. Food. Enough meat to keep her pack alive for another week. She moved toward the fallen animal, already planning how she would drag it back to camp. Then she heard it. A thin sound cut through the roaring wind. A cry. Lyra froze. At first she thought it was some dying animal, but then the sound came again. Sharp, furious, and heartbreakingly small. A baby. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "That's impossible," she whispered. No infant could survive this storm. No mother would be foolish enough to travel through the Ironwild with a newborn. Yet the cry came again. Lyra followed the sound, stepping carefully along the ravine edge. The wind screamed like a living creature, but the crying guided her. After several steps, she saw a dark shape half buried in snow. A woman. Lyra crouched beside the body and brushed away the frost. The woman's skin was pale blue, her eyes frozen open toward the sky. She had been dead for hours, but clutched tightly in her arms was a bundle wrapped in thick embroidered cloth, and the bundle was moving. The baby's tiny fists waved angrily as it screamed into the blizzard. Lyra stared in disbelief. The child's lungs were strong. Its will to live burned bright enough to challenge the storm itself. "You stubborn little thing," Lyra murmured. The infant glared at her with furious dark eyes, as if demanding she do something. Lyra hesitated. Every law of the Ironwild echoed in her mind. No newborns during famine. No extra mouths when food was scarce. Her pack barely survived winter as it was. Bringing this child home would mean exile. She looked down at the baby again. The embroidered cloth wrapped around the infant carried a strange silver crest, a crown surrounded by wolves, not a symbol Lyra recognized. The baby cried louder, its tiny body trembling violently from the cold. Lyra cursed softly. "Fine," she muttered. She lifted the child carefully against her chest. The crying stopped almost instantly. The baby stared up at her, blinking through snowflakes. "Well," Lyra said, adjusting the bundle under her cloak, "you've just ruined my life." She glanced once more at the dead woman. "I hope you know what you've done," she whispered. Then she picked up her spear and began the long walk back to the pack. The storm had only grown worse by the time Lyra reached the camp. 30 wolves sat around the central fire pit beneath rough leather shelters. Conversation stopped the moment she stepped into the circle. "What's that?" someone asked. Lyra pushed back her hood. "It's a baby." Gasps rippled through the pack. Mother Isolde, the tribe's healer, hurried forward. The elderly woman peered into the bundle and recoiled. "By the spirits," she breathed. "Lyra, what have you done?" "Saving a life," Lyra said calmly. "That life will starve us all," another hunter snapped. Her mate, Darian Holt, stepped forward slowly. His jaw tightened as he looked at the child. "Tell me you didn't bring that thing into our camp," he said. Lyra's eyes hardened. "It's not a thing." "It's a death sentence," Darian replied sharply. The baby squirmed and let out an angry cry. Isolde shook her head. "The council forbade newborns this winter. You know that." "I know," Lyra said. Darian ran a hand through his hair, frustration radiating from him. "You should have left it," he said quietly. Lyra met his gaze. "I couldn't." A heavy silence settled over the camp. Finally, Warlord Garrick rose from his seat near the fire. The massive alpha walked forward slowly, his fur cloak dragging through the snow. "Is it true?" he asked. Lyra nodded. Garrick studied the child carefully. "This winter has already taken 2 of our elders," he said. "Food is scarce. Every hunter is stretched thin." "I know," Lyra repeated. "Then you understand what must be done." Darian crossed his arms. "Leave the baby outside the camp." The words hung in the air like a blade. Lyra's grip tightened around the infant. "No." Garrick's eyes narrowed slightly. "You would defy your alpha?" "I would protect a child," she replied. Darian stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Lyra, be reasonable. It's not yours. You owe it nothing." The baby whimpered softly. Lyra looked down at the tiny face pressed against her chest. "She fought the storm alone," Lyra said quietly. "That means something." Darian scoffed. "It means it hasn't died yet." Isolde touched Lyra's arm gently. "Child," the old healer said, "sometimes mercy kills more people than cruelty." Lyra looked around the circle of watching wolves. Some avoided her gaze. Others stared openly with anger. She realized something in that moment. She had already lost them. Garrick folded his arms behind his back. "You have 2 choices," the warlord said. Lyra already knew what he would say. "Leave the infant in the snow," Garrick continued, "or leave this pack." Darian's voice softened. "Lyra, don't do this." She turned toward him slowly. "You won't come with me?" Darian hesitated. The answer was written on his face. "I belong to the pack," he said. Lyra nodded once. "Then we're done here." She turned away from the fire without another word. "Lyra," Darian called after her. But she didn't stop. Snow swallowed her footsteps as she walked out of the only home she had ever known. The baby stirred inside her cloak. Lyra looked down at the small face peeking out. "You and I," she said softly, "are apparently terrible at making sensible decisions." The infant blinked at her. Lyra scanned the endless white valley ahead. "Well," she sighed, "we should probably give you a name." The wind howled through the frozen cliffs. In the distance, a single frost flower clung stubbornly to life between 2 rocks. Lyra smiled faintly. "Petal," she said. The baby gurgled as if approving. "Petal Thorn," Lyra continued. "Let's see if we can survive winter." Days passed in a blur of cold and exhaustion. Lyra eventually found an abandoned hunter's cabin hidden deep inside Frost Hollow. The roof leaked. The door barely closed, but it had walls and a fireplace. Lyra repaired what she could. Still, survival was brutal. Petal cried constantly. Her tiny body needed milk. Lyra's body refused to produce it. "Come on," Lyra groaned one night, rocking the screaming infant beside the fire. "Please work with me here." Petal screamed louder. Lyra buried her face in her hands. "I fought wolves, bandits, and half the Iron Wild," she muttered, "and I'm losing to a baby." Petal wailed again. "Fine," Lyra sighed. She shifted into her wolf form and curled around the infant for warmth. The crying stopped instantly. Lyra blinked in surprise. "Well, that's new." Petal grabbed a handful of fur and fell asleep. Lyra rested her head on the wooden floor. "You are a strange little creature," she murmured. Morning brought something even stranger. Lyra felt a sharp ache in her chest. Milk. Her body had finally responded. She laughed with relief. "Looks like we're not dying today." Weeks turned into months. Petal grew stronger. Her cries turned into babbling sounds. She loved grabbing Lyra's hair and squealing with laughter. One morning, Lyra packed supplies and strapped the 6-month-old baby against her chest. "We're visiting a village," she told the child. Petal kicked happily. "Try not to start any wars while we're there." The small settlement bustled with traders and hunters. Lyra stepped into the market square, and suddenly everyone started screaming. A monstrous black wolf stood at the far end of the street. Its shoulders towered above every other wolf Lyra had ever seen. Green eyes burned like wildfire. A small boy stood frozen directly in its path. "Move," someone shouted, but the child couldn't. Lyra handed Petal to a nearby woman. "Hold her." Before the woman could protest, Lyra shifted mid-stride. Her wolf form slammed into the massive beast. The two crashed across the snow in a violent snarl of claws and teeth. The wolf was stronger, much stronger. It pinned Lyra easily. Hot breath poured over her throat as the beast prepared to kill. Lyra forced herself still. She lowered her head in submission. The wolf froze. For a long moment, its glowing eyes studied her. Then slowly, it stepped away. Without a sound, the monster turned and disappeared into the forest. Lyra shifted back into human form, breathing hard. "What in the spirits?" she whispered. The scent the wolf left behind clung faintly to the air, and for some reason, it reminded her of Petal. Lyra didn't understand it. The scent lingered in her mind all the way back to Frost Hollow. Petal slept quietly against her chest as Lyra trudged through the snow toward the cabin. "That wolf should have killed me," she muttered. Petal responded with a happy squeal. Lyra sighed. "Yes, I know. You find everything funny." But something about the encounter refused to leave her thoughts. The wolf's eyes, the way it stopped, the strange familiarity in its scent. Lyra pushed the thoughts aside as the cabin came into view. They had more immediate problems, like food. She pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. Then she froze. A freshly killed deer lay neatly on the snow just outside the cabin door. Lyra slowly set Petal down inside before stepping back outside. The deer's throat had been torn open cleanly. The kill was recent. Very recent. Lyra looked around the forest. "Hello?" she called cautiously. Only the wind answered. She knelt beside the carcass, inspecting the bite marks. They were massive, the same size as the wolf from the village. Lyra straightened slowly. "You're watching me," she said quietly. The forest remained silent. Petal babbled happily from inside the cabin. Lyra rubbed the back of her neck uneasily. "Well, thanks for the food, I guess." Over the next few days, it kept happening. Rabbit, fox, another deer. Every morning, a fresh kill appeared near the cabin. Lyra grew increasingly certain of the truth. "You've got an admirer," she told Petal one evening. The baby giggled, slapping the wooden table. Lyra crossed her arms. "I don't like admirers who stalk us from the forest." Petal grabbed Lyra's finger and gnawed on it. "Hey!" Lyra laughed. "That's not food." The baby's dark eyes sparkled with amusement. Lyra studied her thoughtfully. "You're growing too fast," she murmured. Petal responded by attempting to eat Lyra's sleeve. All right, Lyra chuckled. "Dinner time." Weeks passed peacefully. Then one night, something impossible happened. Lyra woke to strange noises beside the bed. Small scratching sounds. She sat up instantly. "Petal?" The blankets were empty. Lyra's heart slammed into her ribs. "Petal!" A tiny black wolf pup stumbled across the wooden floor. Lyra stared in shock. The pup squeaked and wagged its tail clumsily. "Petal?" The pup yipped happily. Lyra blinked several times. 6 months, she whispered. You're 6 months old." Most shifters didn't shift until they were at least 5 years old. The pup waddled toward her and tried to climb onto the bed. Lyra scooped the tiny wolf up. "Well," she laughed softly, "that explains why you like my wolf form so much." Suddenly, the forest outside erupted with movement. Heavy footsteps. Lyra turned toward the door just as it creaked open. The giant black wolf stepped inside the cabin. The same emerald eyes glowed in the firelight. Lyra tensed. The wolf wasn't looking at her. Its gaze was locked on the tiny pup in her arms. Petal yipped excitedly. Lyra slowly set the pup on the floor. The giant wolf lowered itself carefully, nose twitching. Petal waddled forward without fear. "Petal, maybe—" Lyra started. The pup bumped noses with the enormous wolf. The beast let out a deep, rumbling sound, not a growl, something softer. Lyra watched carefully as the wolf gently nudged the pup, almost like he was greeting her. Realization dawned slowly. "Oh," Lyra whispered. The wolf looked up at her. Lyra's heart raced. "You're her father." The wolf blinked slowly. Petal barked happily and climbed onto the wolf's massive paw. Lyra ran a hand through her hair. "Well, that explains a lot." Over the next few weeks, the wolf became a constant presence. He never spoke, of course, but he stayed nearby, hunting, watching, protecting the valley. Sometimes Lyra woke in the night to find him sleeping beside the cabin. Petal adored him. She chased his tail endlessly in pup form. Lyra watched the strange family forming around her. "You're not exactly the conversational type," she said one evening as the wolf sat beside the fire. The wolf tilted his head slightly. "Do you even remember who you are?" The wolf stared into the flames. Lyra sighed. "Didn't think so." She hesitated before speaking again. "You know, you could stay." The wolf's ears twitched. Lyra swallowed. "I mean, you already live here." For the first time, the wolf moved closer. Lyra slowly shifted into her wolf form. The bond between them pulsed faintly in the air. She stepped forward and lowered her head. The wolf circled her once, then gently sank his teeth into her shoulder. Pain flashed through her body, but it wasn't just pain. Memories flooded her mind, fire, screaming, a palace burning beneath a blood-red sky, a woman collapsing with a blade in her chest, a newborn crying, and a name echoing through the chaos. Caelan. Lyra collapsed back into human form, gasping. The wolf stepped back. "Caelan," she whispered. The wolf froze. "You were a king." The wolf stared at her, as if the word meant nothing. Lyra slowly reached out and touched his fur. "You lost everything." The wolf closed his eyes briefly. Weeks passed quietly after that. Then one morning the valley filled with the sound of horns. Lyra stepped outside the cabin and froze. 40 armored soldiers surrounded the clearing. Their banners snapped in the wind. Petal peeked from behind Lyra's leg. "Uh-oh," Lyra muttered. A tall man dismounted from the lead horse. "Good morning," he said calmly. Lyra crossed her arms. "You brought a lot of friends. We're looking for someone." Lyra glanced at Caelan standing beside the cabin. The commander followed her gaze. Recognition flashed across his face. "My gods," he breathed. He stepped forward slowly and dropped to one knee. "Your Majesty." Lyra blinked. "Well," she said, "this just got interesting." The soldiers all knelt. Petal tugged Lyra's sleeve. "Mama?" Lyra looked down. "Yes?" The commander stood again. "My name is Lord Valric," he said. "I serve the Northern Throne." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "And?" Valric looked at Petal. "Years ago, our king was betrayed. His queen was murdered." He gestured gently toward the child. "Their daughter vanished." Lyra's stomach dropped. Valric knelt before Petal. Young princess, he said softly. Petal blinked. Lyra looked at Caelan. You have some explaining to do. Caelan stepped forward slowly. For a moment he seemed confused. Then he looked at Petal. Something shifted in his eyes. Recognition. Emotion. Mine, he said hoarsely. Lyra's breath caught. It was the first word he'd spoken. Petal squealed happily and ran into his arms. The soldiers erupted in cheers. Lyra rubbed her temples. Of course, she sighed. The baby I saved turns out to be a princess. Caelan looked at her. Mate, he said. Lyra laughed softly. Yes, she said. Apparently that too. The wind swept through Frost Hollow as Lyra looked at the strange family she had somehow created. A broken king, a wolf princess, and herself, a woman who once had nothing, now standing in the center of a kingdom's future. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments what you think happens next for Lyra, Caelan, and Princess Petal. Because something tells us their story is only just beginning.